2021 is over and I have seen a lot of top 10 movies of 2021 lists, but they're all wrong. Only mine is going to be right because movies and how much you enjoy them isn't a matter of opinion or debate. It's a matter of fact, and let me lay out the facts for you. These are the top 10 best movies of 2021. Now, before we get started, I wanted to throw in two honorable mentions. I really liked these two movies, but they just didn't cut the top 10 for me. Raya and the Last Dragon and Ghostbusters Afterlife, both good time. So with that, let's start at number 10. Luca was a lot smaller scale of films than some of the ones that Pixar has been putting out lately, but it still worked very well. The stakes were never like super high. It was about winning a bike competition, but the emotional stakes and the relationships between the characters were very endearing and all read as very true and earnest and stuff that we hadn't seen before. The visuals were gorgeous. I loved the feel of the town. I loved all of the characters, and you know that the characters are well made when the 5-minute long short that they put out on Disney Plus about two of the characters was a really good short and developed the characters naturally and just continued on with their life story. I dug it. At number 9 is The Last Duel. Definitely the most gritty and dark movie on my list. I'm just not feeling those kinds of movies after the last 2 years, 3 years, many years. But this one was remarkably made. The story was captivating, which it kind of had to be because it tells the same story 3 times from 3 different points of view, and it really built it up so that way by the end I was actually on the edge of my seat to see what the result of The Last Duel would be, because it mattered to me. What is keeping me from recommending this movie to anyone really is it does graphically depict a scene of rape twice in the movie, so it could definitely be triggering to watch. Not the lightest one. At number 8 is Passing, and I am definitely not the target audience for this, but I thought that this movie was beautifully shot, wonderfully acted. I think the best performance from Tessa Thompson that I've ever seen, and definitely makes me see her in a new way as an actress. The whole thing is shot in the 4:3 frame, black and white style of the 1940s. When stuff like that is done in modern days, my initial thought is, oh, when are they gonna do the trick of, oh, back to a modern day cinematic view, framing, and when are we gonna get color thrown in there, kind of like a WandaVision thing. But no, they stuck with the visual style the whole time, which I really enjoyed. It let the film have its own unique atmosphere and really feel like it's part of the time that it was expressing, and the story of the 2 lead characters was very interesting. And the movie does not at any point tell you what's going on or give you their internal monologues or anything like that. It's all show, not tell, and a lot of figuring out through context and just some open-endedness, which if that's not your thing, I could see you not enjoying this movie. But I really enjoyed the story of these 2 women who are black, who could pass for white, and one of them chose to lead a life where she married a husband who just thinks that she's white, and the husband is quite racist, and this other woman who did not lead that life, and when they reconnect, what tensions and drama and friendships formed from that. It was very interesting to watch. I don't know what my upstairs neighbors are doing, but Passing was a good movie. Number 7 is a movie that I didn't even hear of until I was looking at other people's top movies of the year list, so I guess those other wrong lists did at least something right. But Shiva Baby is a ridiculous comedy awkward comedy, I guess, about a bunch of Jewish people going to a Shiva of, I honestly don't even remember, but the main character is a woman who is very close to graduating college, and while she is there, she runs into both her ex-girlfriend, and she also runs into her sugar daddy, the person who pays her for sex. So it leads to a lot of awkward stuff, and if that premise alone wasn't fun enough, it also just really very accurately depicts going to a gathering in the Jewish community, like a local Jewish community. It reminded me a lot of events that I've been to growing up. I could swear that I've met many of just the like background side cameo characters before. I'm honestly surprised that I had seen this movie on a couple different top movies of the year lists, because it felt like all of the jokes were like inside jokes that you would kind of have to be Jewish and had to have gone to like community events like this in the past to understand. But I'm glad that I saw it. It made me and my mom laugh out loud a lot while watching it, which is usually what you want from a comedy. Number 6 is The Mitchells versus the Machines, and I had heard for a while that this one was really good. I was like, all right, cool, a really good animated movie, let me check it out. I popped it on, and for the first like 30 to 40 minutes, I was really like, oh, okay. I mean, it's not bad, but I was expecting like better. And while that slow start definitely pulls the movie down on the list for me, the last like 2/3 of the movie is so good and emotionally resonant and actually funny. When it kind of took a little bit to get going, but once it did, it was loads of fun, and definitely something. Dad, I'm sure that you're going to be watching this. You should watch The Mitchells versus the Machines. I feel like you would really like it specifically. It was a good time. At number 5 is ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I think ShangChi and the really long title that ends with 10 rings. Wow, what a breath of fresh air, mostly, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Definitely has the best fight scenes of the MCU contained in it. The bus scene that's shown off in a bunch of the trailers, as well as some, this movie's been talked about a lot by other reviewers. It's really good. It's a great martial arts movie, and where it kind of falls back on the list for me, even though the villain, I think, is one of, if not the best MCU villains, and I actually did care about the confrontation between him and Shang-Chi, the fight between the hero and the villain, something that you should usually care about in a movie, but sometimes Marvel movies are a bit off on, like you only care about the hero but not the villain. Both characters really great, understood where they were both coming from, but their confrontation and everything else going around it was very muddled, and it was I just remember a bunch of gray darkness happening. Not as horrible as some Zack Snyder DC movies, but just lost a lot of the vibrantness of the movie and became a CGI slugfest instead of a great martial arts finale, which is what we had seen in the fights up until then. So ending was a little disappointing, but everything else was great. I can't wait to see more of Shang-Chi. I can't wait to see more of Awkwafina in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm just excited by the characters in general. At number 4 is In the Heights. I had not seen the Broadway version of this, and I've never heard the soundtrack before. I went into the movie completely blind. It was the first movie that I had seen in theaters since, the start of everything that has been 2020 and 2021. My girlfriend and the friend that we went with did know the Broadway musical soundtrack very well. So they were like, oh, I don't know, how will it be? It was very good. It was very good. They definitely changed some things. I know they cut out a song that my girlfriend and my friend were like upset weren't in there. But they were like, yeah, but it does make sense because this character's story had changed kind of for the better, so that way it wasn't just about like her relationship to her father and her boyfriend, but also about like the expectations on her being the first one out of the community, going off to college. And I just really enjoyed both Nina's character and all of the other characters in the community, and the songs, of course, were very catchy. They're Lin Manuel Miranda songs. And the whole movie is visually fun, the directing style, a movie that I've seen twice now and definitely would be happy to watch again. At number 3 is Spider-Man No Way Home, and I mean, what can I say about this movie? It's really good. It's so fun. I'd been worried seeing all of the trailers for a long time that it was all like the whole selling point of the movie was just going to be the fan service stuff, like, oh, watch Tom Holland Spider-Man fight Alfred Molina Doc Ock, whoa, isn't that cool, and oh, Willem Dafoe's in it, and whoa, aren't all of these cameos and stuff so fun, ha ha ha, give us money. But that's really not what it is at all. All of the characters that are in it, well, all of the important characters that are in it are actually important to the story, and I've heard in interviews with the writers that they were very careful to make sure to tighten up and trim off some of the like extra, oh, wouldn't that be fun ideas that they had, so that way they can focus on the story of Tom Holland's Peter Parker. It really is a story about his growth from the young high school teenage person with spider powers into Spider-Man. It is weird seeing an origin story when we've already had 5 movies before this one with this character, but this really is his origin story and a great finale for the trilogy of Spider-Man Home movies, as well as a beautiful love letter to all the Spider-Man movies that had come before it. It was great. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. What holds it back a little bit from being the top spot on the list is there are definitely logical fallacies that you can not just like nitpick out, but when you think about them, it's like, oh, yeah, that just doesn't make sense, so why did these other things happen? Like, why is this character here based on the premise of why these characters are all being brought together, and oh, why did all of this even happen? Why didn't Doctor Strange and Peter Parker just like talk for 5 minutes before casting a world-altering spell about what the spell would do? So when you think about stuff like that, it does hold it back a little bit, but it is so much fun from beginning to end. And something that I'm looking forward to rewatching many times throughout the rest of my life. At number 2 is James Gunn, The Suicide Squad. Please, 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 please do not confuse this one with the first Suicide Squad movie that came out that had the really fun trailers but then ended up being complete and total garbage. No, the Suicide Squad is absolutely incredible. Laugh out loud hilarious. If you love Guardians of the Galaxy, you're going to love this. If you love the like quirky, dark humor of James Gunn, you're going to love this. There's over-the-top action. There are characters with heart. I mean, it's a movie that made me care about Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man. His power is he shoots polka dots. What else can I say about a movie? I've seen it 3 times now. I've thoroughly enjoyed it every time. And honestly, I debate whether this movie or the Guardians of the Galaxy are James Gunn's best movie. It's that good. But coming in at my number 1 spot for 2021 is Disney's Encanto. Now this is one that I was kind of hesitant to watch, not for any real reason other than, oh, just another Disney movie, okay, cool, yeah, cool premise. It is a premise executed to the fullest. Every character is fun, matters, all of the songs are total bops. Again, Lin Manuel Miranda making the top 5 on my list. I've had 2 of the songs stuck in my head on repeat for the last week since I first saw the movie, and I love the themes throughout. I love the family dynamic of this magically powerful family. Hold on, I think I have to sneeze. Let me do that. The whole movie is bursting with life and color and beautifully animated scenes and beautiful cinematography and wonderful songs and life and jokes, and watching it the second time I noticed things about the characters and the plot and the world that I didn't notice the first time going in. There are no twists that are unfair or come out of nowhere or unearned. Everything in this movie feels earned, everything feels genuine, and it's an exploration of types of characters that I've never seen in Disney before, and I'm very happy to see these character types expressed to the Disney audience. I just gush about this movie. I've literally recommended it to everyone that I've talked to since seeing it, and I recommend it to you strongly. And my girlfriend's on her way back from visiting family, and pretty much as soon as she gets in the door, I'm going to be like, so have you seen Encanto, by the way? Because if not, I'd totally be down to watch it again, because it's a really good movie. I did not expect it to be on my top 10 list, but here we are at the top of the list. So yeah, that was my list, the unequivocally and completely indisputably right list. I would say to put your opinions in the comments below, but you're wrong. If you disagree with anything that I said, you're wrong. Period. End of sentence. That's how good I am. Thank you for watching. Congrats on educating yourself, and I hope 2022 works out good for you and for the world in general.